Hey guys, this is Aditya from Bangalore. I'm a 7 years experienced full stack JavaScript developer. So talking about the JavaScript things, so there are two things like MERN and the main stack. Like MERN stack in the sense like MongoDB, Express, React and Node.js. So similarly in the main stack, you'll be like instead of React, you are going to use the AngularJS. Okay. So now let's talk about the basic JavaScript. So JavaScript, like before 2012, it's going to be a client-side language, like client-side scripting language, but nowadays it's going to be act as both client-side as well as the server-side architecture. Okay, so now let's talk about the basic web applications. Like by using any HTML like CSS, JavaScript, we can able to build any kind of web applications. But right now the single page application is ruling the market. So single page applications, very one like a real-time example will be your Facebook. And when talking about the single page application, there are many libraries as well as the frameworks like React, Angular, Vue.js, many things are there in the market. So these things comes under the client-side scripting as a front-end technologies. When talking about the backend, we have Express, MongoDB, and then we have Node.js. So let's go from the first, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so like how the basic structure like HTML and the JavaScript code is getting run onto the browser. So that's the first simple question. So when talking about that, every browser nowadays is having the V8 engine module. It's developed by Google, and that is the main module which will convert your JavaScript code into the machine codes, because browsers can able to understand only the machine code languages. Okay, so now like still we can able to like develop many applications by using the pure JavaScript, but what happens is like whenever any browser is going to refresh, your data is going to be completely done, and then you need to like the time as well as the memory optimization will be completely higher. So then comes the concept of the single page application. So we'll be stop refreshing the browser and we'll be changing the UI according to the events that we are going to trigger it. Okay, and when talking about the libraries and framework, so that those two things are completely different one. So framework will follow a MVC pattern. MVC in the sense model, view and controller. So let me give you a simple example. Like let's take a simple button tag in the HTML. So that is going to be a simple model, and then when you're trying to like run that particular tag in the browser, it's going to be your view layer, like us, the end user is going to view that particular button. And then the controller is nothing but like adding the functionality to the buttons, so that we can able to add any kind of routings, navigation, etc. So this is how the MVC pattern will looks like, and this is completely a framework. Framework in the sense Angular, Vue.js, these things are the framework. So when talking about the library, React is a basic JavaScript library which is very used to for like building the front-end architectures. Okay, so nowadays the very hot stuffs in the front-end technologies will be your React, Angular, and then the Vue.js. Okay, so when talking about the React, it is developed by Facebook in 2012, and then in 2013 they like created the React Native for the mobile applications. Okay, so when talking about the React, so main advantages in the React is the virtual DOM concept. Okay, so in React we have two DOMs, one is a virtual, another one is your virginal DOM. So like whenever you are doing any changes, content changes, first it's going to be reflected in your virtual DOM, and then the virtual DOM and the virginal DOM will be comparing with each other, and then the contents will be overloaded in the web browsers. Okay, so that's one of the main advantage in the React. The other advantage will be your dry concept, like don't repeat yourself. Like we need to make sure that each and every component we are trying to create, it needs to be reused across our projects. That's the second one. And third one will be your the Redux architecture. So Redux is nothing but a library tool for like storing the data and makes the data in a global way, so that every component in the React can able to fetch the data from the Redux object, and it can able to reuse the data. Okay, so these three things are like a pillars to the React.js, so that it is very popular among the developers nowadays. And nowadays many people not only the companies in India, like in US or in any overseas companies, they are trying to migrate their applications to React.js. Okay, so this is how the React will works like. And then let's talk about the Node.js, I mean the backend parts. So when we are having the Node.js, so now we are having the server-side scripting, as well as like we can able to use the Express.js. It's one of the framework in the Node.js, so that we can able to like use the code in very easy way. Okay, so now main part of the backend is to like create the APIs, like filing, dumping the data in the database, and then we can able to like use it in our application programming interface. Okay, so now you can able to like use any kind of database, like you have MySQL, you have Postgres, you have MongoDB. So as I already told you, we are going to like go with the MERN stack, so we are going to stick with the MongoDB, like NoSQL databases. So when talk about the MongoDB, it's going to be have a document like structure, like a basic JSON structure, so it is very easy for the developers to access and flex, and it is more flexible too. Okay, so by using the Mongoose framework, we'll be connecting the MongoDB with your Node.js, and then by using the Express we can able to like write or create any routes for the APIs. Okay, so when we are done with the routings, we can able to design the model and the schema according to that, and then you can able to keep the API responses as much as possible. Okay, so how we can able to like integrate our own backend APIs with the front end thing. So that's why we will be like making the full stack course, right? So the main aim in the full stack is to like make the connection between your backend and your front end. So in the front end, mainly like we won't use any Ajax calls like by using the jQuery, since like jQuery is also a library, we should not use the library, another library inside the React. So you'll be using the Axios package for integrating your any kind of APIs with the backend, and you will be getting the response in the front end, and you can able to integrate with the UI parts. So this is how the full stack ecosystem will work in the JavaScript environment. But like you can able to connect React or Node with any kind of technologies, like you can able to like connect React with Ruby or C#, Java, anything you can able to connect it, as well as in the front end also you can able to use any kind Python, any kind of languages you can use, and then you can able to connect your JavaScript frameworks. Okay.